LaSalle's very difficult to play against, and they have two terrific guards. They can play small. They didn't shoot the ball particularly well tonight from three. And there's a number of times that obviously if they just make a couple of games, probably a little bit different. But I thought we competed. I thought we fought through a really ugly, gritty, grimy kind of game. I thought Dave made some real big plays in the second half of getting key buckets when we were struggling in one stretch. I thought Zeke and Brandon both gave great minutes all night. I thought Always gave great minutes all night. And I also thought Tyson Brown really was ready to play in his role here tonight. Extended minutes, did a really good job down the finish. And, it was a group effort. In some cases, some of the games that you play in conference, you're going to have a group of guys that, don't have it that night. And that's why you need the collective group to be working every single day the right way. And so that was a team win for us tonight. And, when you play a couple weeks and things aren't going well, I don't think anybody that's not inside your own room or your own walls, locker room, practice floor, understands how hard it is, to bounce back, to keep coming back after a tough loss, a bad week, a second bad week. Can you keep showing up? Can you keep showing up? That's the hardest part about enduring a long, grinding season, is to be able to deal with some highs, but also the lows. And, so credit to our kids. I thought our staff continues to do a really good job of pleading and prodding and doing whatever we can to get better. And clearly we did some things well enough tonight to win a conference game. And when you can win a conference game, it's a good feeling. So hopefully we take a deep breath. We have a quick turnaround to Saturday afternoon. Duquesne, very good, very talented. Preseason team, I know, was picked to have a fantastic, year. They got off to a slow start in January, but I think they're bringing it back around. So we're going to have to play much better. And each week that goes by, you have to continue to have that mindset. We have to keep playing better, keep working to get better. And it'll be a tough turnaround, but I'm hopeful we can be ready to go with another home game, which will be important.
Coach, you had a different lineup going down the stretch tonight. Is strategy, or was there an injury? Jeremy looked like he had a pad on his back.
Jeremy had a hard fall in the first half. His back stiffened up, tightened up on him. We gave him the run to start the second half because he was loose. Weren't sure if he sat for a long period of time we would have much out of him. So Jeremy, kind of got to go at the start of the second half, but he had a bang floor. They played small when they didn't have a big on the floor. It's difficult at times, but I thought Tyson really did a nice job. And then, to finish the game, Brandon, our best free throw shooter, really realistically in games. And Zeke, really gave us some positive of him, like being more aggressive. So that's just the group that entails. Sometimes when you play against LaSalle, they'll have 5 guards out there, so it's a little unique. We were prepared to do that with Dave being the biggest guy on the floor, but each game kind of requires a little bit of an adjustment or something, maybe a feel. That's just what we did tonight.
Coach, looking at Tyson's stats, it kind of shows that numbers don't always tell the story. How big were his hustle plays tonight, just for the momentum?
He got a huge offensive rebound on the free throw line. He got his hands on about 2 others. I thought he had some 3 really plays around the basket where he blocked the shot. I mean, he was just very active. He also stepped up and made 2 big free throws. He had a nice turnaround right there at the logo. And it's a credit to him because not every season just is smooth. You're going to go through some confidence. You're waver your confidence. You're going to have some guys playing better at certain times. Sometimes games require a hot group to stay in. And Tyson sort of has, early in the season played more, and at times has backed off. Right now he's getting a little less. It's not because of his work ethic or whatnot. It's about productivity. And I thought when he was in there, he really produced. And I think, barring what we'll have here, I plan on all those guys being available. But very proud of his effort because it's very easy to pout when things aren't going your way. It's very easy not to work, and that hasn't been him at all.
Coach, back to the lineup. David Fuchs did not play very much tonight.
He didn't have it tonight. Whether it was fatigue, bottom line is, can't catch his breath. I'm not sure, but he didn't have it tonight, so we went in another direction.
Archie, Jacob Russo from the Providence Journal. Nice to meet you. Monday in pregame presser, you really hammered the importance of defense. How would you evaluate your team's defense today?
Just okay. I thought they missed some, open shots. I thought there was a lot of looks that they didn't make. I thought some things around the rim were challenged better. For the most part, transition defense wasn't awful unless we threw it to them or had just a bad play on offense. but without watching the film, my intuition, my gut, we started the game not ready. We started the game very lethargic. I think they had 5 offensive rebounds in the first 4 minutes. As the game continued to go, I thought our second unit guys that were flying in there did a much better job. Took the lead at halftime. Very similar to last Wednesday at home against Fordham. Opening group doesn't do well. Guys come in, do a better job. And then in the second half, it was just, the inability to get a key stop to win the game. Whether it's Brantley making a pull up or the last play, 14 seconds coast to coast layup in 4 seconds. It's just, we're not there. And we'll continue to work hard to get better. I think the biggest thing is continuing to get back and communicate, but continuing to find guys that are really about the right things, at certain times in the game. And we can't afford to have anybody not block it out, not rebounding, but frustrating. Always have an opportunity to be better though. And I think that's the big thing, is continuing to work the right way and have our group kind of dialed in a little bit more. But we still haven't had what I would call, we played extremely hard. And, the bottom line is our defense won us that game. Didn't happen. Well, our defense isn't winning us the game. There's probably enough stops. Tonight, we were able to make some key plays offensively. We were able to make some free throws. We did a good job of handling the press, special situations. But from a defensive standpoint, I would say that if you watch the game, there was a lot of good looks, just didn't go in. And we'll continue to work hard to get better at it.
Coach, with respect to the defense, I know you've talked about it a lot. We're talking about it right now. Is there anything in particular that you ask guys to focus on, both individually as well as a team? What particular aspect of defense are you trying to focus on right now that you think will help you take that step to be a better defense?
Yeah, I think good question. The number one problem that we have is the inability to get back. Part of it's effort, part of it's communication, part of it is taking care of the basketball. But we are one of the worst defensive teams in the country when the team has the ball off of a rebound, or whether the team, we score and they get it out of the net. Within those first 7 to 8 seconds, we're one of the poorest defending teams in the country. If we could get better at one thing down the home stretch, is to just continue to get our group committed to be able to sprint back, point, talk, match up, get set, don't give them anything at the very beginning of a possession. Fouls, threes, game changes, whatever it may be. That's step one. I think, step 2 is obviously just individual willpower on the ball, guarding your man, not getting beat in straight lines. And then the last part of it would be just a physicality to us in rebounding. And we have a lot of issues, but I would say if we could really excel in the next month, make a growth spurt as a group, it would be that emphasis of how hard you have to run back every single time there's a transition opportunity to not give teams easy baskets.
Coach Zeke, a guy you talked about it last, this week,
Yeah.
obviously has struggled a little bit, but he got, he struggled from the field today, but he got those minutes, the confidence you have on him, in him. And
We need to get him going, and part of getting him going is extended minutes, more minutes, but he has to be aggressive. And I think, he's taken, he's a great kid, but he started off like a rock star for us in November. I mean, you can make the case he was our best player in November. December, when we had injuries and whatnot, his role had to change, and I thought he struggled with it. It hurt his confidence, and then our team changed post-Christmas. You had those healthy guys back. You had Dave Green in there. Now we're trying to work, what's the best. But we have to get Zeke going. His offensive shooting numbers in conference reflect a guy that hasn't been very aggressive or confident. He was much more aggressive in practice over the last 2 days. And I think even tonight, I don't have a problem with 1 second of how he played the game. We need to get him going a little bit offensively. And if we do, we just become that much better. He's important in what we're doing. And I think just as a staff, just being able to, push him forward. But, part of it's going to be he's going to have to do his part and continue to stay with it and earn those minutes. And then when he gets out there, produce.
Coach, another slow start to the second half?
It's the group. We tried to change the group to start the second half, to be able to give us more of a defensive mindset, to be able to give us a little bit more. But we struggled on offense to start the second half. Salle played full court pressure all game long. They played a little 2-3 zone, which really wasn't a 2-3, and it went to man. And in their man-to-man, they chose not to guard some certain guys. So they gave you a funny feeling in the course of the game. We had to work through it. And I think our offense hurt us more than our defense did to start the second half. We were able to kind of grind our way through it, and you know, the bottom line is for our offense, we scored 71 at home. We got 27 free throw attempts. We were 5 for 12 from 3. We only turned it over 12 times. So regardless of how bad it looked, it wasn't from an efficiency standpoint. It got the job done. All good? You guys have a good night. We'll see you Saturday afternoon.